What if I told you that the secret to getting rich wasn't some new flashy idea, but a 20-year-old government document that has been hiding in plain sight all along? Let's think back to 2002 when President Mwai Kibaki took office as Kenya's third president. At this point, Kenya's economy was on its knees with a GDP growth of a pitiful 0.6%. But just 5 years later, that number had skyrocketed to a nearly 7% increment. Now, that wasn't luck. It was the result of a brilliant blueprint for a national wealth called Kenya Vision 2030. Now, most of us know that feeling of financial frustration. You work hard, try to save, but you're just spinning your wheels around. You're looking for a roadmap that actually works, a set of rules that leads to real financial growth. But now, here's the secret nobody talks about. The exact same principles Kibaki used to pull off one of Africa's greatest economic comebacks can be applied to directly change your personal finances. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in this video today, I'm going to show you how you can take that national blueprint by Mwai Kibaki for prosperity and turn it into a personal plan for building wealth. Ladies and gentlemen, without much ado, let's get right into the video.
Talks with Mwai podcast, where we get real with finances and tap inside the economics of power.
So, what was Vision 2030? Launched back in 2008, it was a master plan to turn Kenya into a middle-income, globally competitive country by 2030. It was built on 3 pillars: economic, social, and political. The goal was very huge. Hit a 10% GDP growth rate every single year and massively improve life of every Kenyan citizen. Something which so many people who lived during the reign of President Mwai Kibaki can attribute that it did happen. Think of this blueprint like an architect's blueprint to a skyscraper. You don't just start stacking bricks and hope it doesn't fall over. Every single detail is planned from the foundation to the final spire. Vision 2030 laid out huge flagship projects like the Lapset Corridor, Kwanza Technopolis, something that ukipita Kwanza City you'll actually agree to it, and huge upgrades to roads, energy and tech. These weren't just projects, these were calculated investments in the country's very foundation. But ladies and gentlemen, here is the kicker. The principles that turn around a whole country's economy are the exact same ones that can build your personal fortune. I know somebody's gonna ask me, Derek, why? Because the national economy is just a bunch of individual company finances all added together. If you can understand the strategy or the nation, you can master the strategy for yourself. Now, today I want to translate Kibaki's national blueprint into your personal financial fortune plan. We are going to turn the pillars of Vision 2030 into the steps you can take to build your own financial empire from 0 to 100. There are around 6 pillars around Mwai Kibaki's financial plan that I'm going to share with you in this video that are going to help you transform your life, financial life all around. Pillar number 1, create your personal vision. The power of Vision 2030 was that it was a long-term game, not a short-term game. It wasn't a quick fix for the next few weeks problems. It was strategic, 20-year plan. And this is exactly where most of us get it wrong with our own money. When it comes to our personal finances, we are thinking about next month's rent or maybe a holiday next year. We don't have a grand personal vision. Kibaki's government started with a clear statement of where they wanted the nation to be. You need to do the same for your life. It's time for you to create your personal Vision 2030. We are in 2025, so if you're going to create your own personal Vision 2030, that it means these are going to be strong goals that you want to achieve in the next 5 years. And you see, I don't mean just that I want to save more money. That's not a vision, it's a core. I mean, you need to define what rich actually means to you in 10, 15 or 20 years. Without a destination, you are just driving around circles. So take a minute and seriously think. Where do you want to be financially by 2030, 2035 or 2040? Be specific. How specific are you? Okay, I learned somewhere that the art of being specific helps your brain come up with brilliant ideas. This is how you can be specific. I want to have 50 million shillings investment portfolio by 2030. I want to own 3 rental properties that generate income. I want to completely be debt-free with 100,000 shillings in passive income every month. Write it down. Okay, don't just speak. Okay, sometimes you can speak and forget, but write it down. There is a connection between writing down and your mindset. Make it real. This is your new North Star. Like, these are your next 5 stars that you want to achieve. From now on, every financial decision you're going to make should get measured against this personal financial goal, personal vision 2030. Does this purchase move me close to my vision, or does it pull me further away? Like, that is how you're going to start viewing life the moment you generate your personal vision 2030. This simple act of planning is the first real step to taking control. Pillar number 2, run your life like a treasury. You see, when Kibaki's government took over, they didn't just wish for more money. It was not like a wish to them. They got disciplined with the money they already had. For instance, right now you already have 100,000 Kenyan shillings. You becoming disciplined with this money is what matters the most. They introduced strict spending policies, fixed the leaky tax collection system, and cracked down on corruption. This financial discipline is what fueled the economic engine. Finding the loopholes in your financial crisis currently is the most important thing for you to fix your financial life. Your personal life is a mini economy. You are the president, you are the finance minister, and the treasury all in one. And if your economy is constantly leaking money through mindless spending and bad debt, you'll stay broke no matter how much your salary increases. You see, this tells you one thing, that it's time for you to become ruthless with your finances, and it's also time for you to become ruthless with the economy of your personal life. Audit your personal economy for the next 30 days. Track every single shilling, where it's going. Use an app, a spreadsheet, whatever it works. At the end of the month, you'll see exactly where your revenue leakages are, the forgotten subscriptions, the impulse buy, the daily habits that cost you a fortune over a year. I once listened to one of the best financial coaches in this country. She's called Susan Wanjiku. I'll attach the video link to this video, and she shares with us how you should audit your financial lives, like the different ways you can use to audit your daily income. Either is it monthly, is it weekly, is it daily? And that is where I came about this app. I won't recommend the app here because I stopped using the app, by the way. I don't know why, but to me it was not giving me the result that I needed. So I transited to using a spreadsheet to track my finances, and it's been really working tremendously for me for the past number of months I've been using. Now, you see, the moment you plug the leaks in your finances, then you become the brutal person in your finances. At the best time, at the same time, you will see ways to boost your income. Now, can you start a side hustle? Can you negotiate a raise? Can you turn a hobby into a small business? By slashing down your costs and increasing your income, you create a surplus, and that surplus isn't just extra cash, it's the seed of money for your empire. So figure out ways in which you are going to audit your finances in one or the other to ensure that how you are spending your money this September is not going to be the same way you're spending your money in October. Pillar number 3, build your personal cabinet. One day while listening to Vusi Thembekwayo, I heard him speak of something called having your imaginary board of directors. It's also a concept that is in the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, having an imaginary board of directors. And this brings me to this concept of you building your personal cabinet. And I'm going to relate this with Kibaki's blueprint to building wealth. You see, Kibaki didn't turn the economy all around by himself. His genius was in assembling a dream team of sharp economists, skilled professionals, and technocrats. He put the best people in the most important jobs within his cabinet. You have to do the same, okay? You can't be an expert in everything. You can't be an expert in finance. I'm not an expert in finance personally, okay? What I'm just trying to share with you are some of the principles I've picked in life that I'm using to audit my financial career or my financial life. And you see, because you cannot be an expert in everything, trying to master investing, real estate, tax law, and businesses all on your own is a recipe for expensive mistakes. The fastest way to get rich is to learn from people who have already been where you want to be. This is something called getting a mentor. The moment you have a mentor, your mentor makes it simple for you. It's time for you to build your own personal cabinet. This does not mean hiring a team of pricey consultants tomorrow. No. Start small. Read books by financial legends, books like The Psychology of Money. There is this book that has come out I'm really looking for this book. It's called The First Lane Millionaire, The Millionaire First Lane. You can read book like The Think and Grow Rich, such kind of books. Read books by financial legends. These people who have written this book are expert. Follow credible financial experts online. Personally, people whom I can recommend to you to follow them on the financial knowledge from Kenya, number one is someone called Susan Wanjiku, and across the world, someone called Niska. I'll attach a link to her YouTube channel on this video. Find a mentor, someone who's already winning in the game, okay? And humbly ask for their experts' advice. You see, there is something called the art of asking. If you master the art of asking, you can get mentorship for free without paying even a fee. It just depends with how are you going to approach this mentor. The moment your money grows, then you can now consider paying for a professional advice from a financial planner or a tax expert. The fee you pay an expert can save you from a mistake that costs 10 times more. Your network and your knowledge are your most valuable advisors when it comes to building your wealth. So you don't need to, you should not come and say, Derek, I don't have money to hire a financial expert. I cannot get myself a mentor. There are mentors everywhere. In Nairobi, I'm in Nairobi currently, books in the street, The Psychology of Money, you can buy it even for as low as 250 Kenyan shillings. And I'm telling you, the knowledge you pick from that book is very tremendous. You can listen to free YouTube videos on money, how to budget, how to invest, things that are leaking your money. Like, the more you listen to these videos on financial knowledge or videos from financial experts, you'll understand the leakages in your own finances. This brings me to pillar number 4, master debt and move in silent. There's a myth that all debt is bad. Kibaki's government knew the difference between dumb borrowing and smart investing. They took on debt, but they used it strategically to build things that will create future wealth, like the Thika superhighway. Now, we people, we borrow money for parties, we borrow money for whatever we want to borrow money for, but for them, they didn't borrow money for parties or luxuries. On top of that, Kibaki was famous for making money moves in silence. He didn't have the deals done and the funding secured before anyone even knew he was working on it. Like, you see, sometimes you may make something public so early, like people already know you are in the move on getting 1 million shillings from someone. For Kibaki, he used to make money moves very silent. Now, this is a massive mindset shift. You have to learn to see the difference between good debt and bad debt. Bad debt is borrowing for things that lose value. Credit card debt for a vacation, a loan for a fancy car you can't afford. But on the other hand, good debt is borrowing to buy assets, okay? Borrowing to buy assets that will grow or make you money, a mortgage for a rental property, a loan to start a business, or even a student loan for a high-paying career. Now, here's the plan. First, list all your debts and create a strategy to kill off the high-interest bad debts. I remember there is this point in life, I was really into debts. Yeah, I was really young, but nilikuwa natuma deni. Zilikuwa zinanipeleka mbio. And then, someone told me, actually it was Susan Wanjiku. I'm telling you, this lady changed my life. Like how I used to view money, this lady played a very key role in how I viewed money. So I listened to Susan Wanjiku's video, and this is what she said. I want you to go sit down, list down all the debts you have, from the highest debt to the lowest debt. The moment you list these debts, come up with a plan, like how much do you earn in a month? I earn 50,000 every month. Then calculate, kuna zile deni zenye unaweza lipa mara moja na zishe. Uko na deni kama 10k, you can pay it once. So after listing down all my debts, do you know what? I was able to pay off all my debts within 2 months. So first, list down the debts you have. Second, before you ever borrow again, ask one question. Will this put money in my pocket, or will this take money out of my pocket? Once you ask yourself this question, you know whether you should borrow to get into what you want to get to, or you should not borrow. If you're borrowing money to learn a skill that will make money in return, then borrow money. But if you're going to borrow money to impress people somewhere in a party, then that is not a reason for you to borrow money. Once you answer the second question, that brings you to the third part or the third plan. Adopt the silent moves rule that Kibaki used. Stop announcing your big financial plans to everyone. Work quietly, work strategically, and let your results make the noise. You see, sometimes we are so fast into making unnecessary announcements that I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, when it is not important. But the moment you have achieved that milestone, then you can make it public. Master the silent moves of money. That brings us to pillar number 5. Invest in your personal infrastructure. Vision 2030 was all about massive investments in the Kenya's core infrastructure. In Kenya's core infrastructure, we're talking about roads, energy, and especially education and health. Someone said that any person who is trying to kill the education system is killing an entire country, and any person who is killing the health system wants to end an entire country. The government of Mwai Kibaki knew that a country is only as strong as its foundation. Better roads mean goods get to the market faster. Better education means a smarter workforce for the economy. So, what's your personal infrastructure? It is you. For the government, it was the roads, the school, the health system, and all that. But for you, your personal infrastructure is you as a person. Your skills, your knowledge, your health, your network. These are assets that produce every shilling you will ever earn. Someone asked me, Derek, how does your network make you earn money? And this is how your network makes you earn money. Your network can recommend you to someone, and this person can give you a job, and that is how you make money. Second, your network can help you acquire a contract that you're not even to acquire if you didn't have that network. So that is how your network becomes your what? Your infrastructure. Now, investing in a stock is smart, but the single greatest investment you'll ever make is your own ability to earn more. You can invest $1 million in stock markets, but there is this quote that someone told me. Actually, it was my neighbor. He is a lecturer, and he told me, Derek, this is the thing that you need to have to learn in life. Investing yourself is the most important thing, because you can generate other ways of making money. You can invest in stock. If I give you 1,000 shillings today and you invest in stock and you don't know how to manage the stocks, that money will get lost. But if I give you 1,000 shillings today and you invest in knowledge to invest in stocks, then you'll keep your stocks because you have the knowledge. So always persevere or always strive to invest in your knowledge. I want you to identify the most valuable infrastructure projects in your life, and after you have identified these infrastructure projects, you are going to invest in these infrastructure projects. Whether it is to learn a high income skill like coding or sell or trading, or is it getting a certification that guarantees a promotion at your place of employment, or is it finally launching that business idea you can't stop thinking about, or whether it is investing in your health so you can have energy to chase your goal. Figure out what is your infrastructure in life. Just like this Thika superhighway opened up huge opportunities, learning one new skill can open up entirely new ways for you to make money. You need to set aside a part of your budget specifically for personal infrastructure. You see, our budgets are usually funny. Uko na do ya rent, umeshaika pale, you have money for food, you have money for junks, you have money for vacations, you have money for debt. But I've realized very few people have that docket in their financial budget called personal infrastructure. This isn't an expense, okay? It's a down payment on a much wealthier version of you. Pastor Reverend Joshua Selman, or he is Apostle Joshua Selman says this: the more you build capacity, the more you attract things at that level of that capacity. So the more you invest in the knowledge to build your capacity, the more you'll attract things at that level. So if today your financial capacity is at 5, you'll forever attract things at the capacity level of 5. But the moment you invest in the capacity of 7, you'll attract things at the capacity of 7, and the things below the capacity of 7 will come naturally. So ladies and gentlemen, there it is. A 5 very simple step strategy stolen from the economic miracle that built Kenya when Kenya was at the brink of fail, to building our own very prosperous country. And this you can also use to build your own personal fortune. It's all about having vision, being disciplined, getting smart advice, using debt wisely, and betting on yourself. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these pillars sounds like the biggest challenge in your life right now? Is the long-term planning, the daily discipline of tracking your spending? Let me know the biggest struggle in the comments below. I promise I'll read every single one of them and give back a response rate. And if this gave you a new way to think about your money, do me a very solid favor and hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, because here at Talks with Mwai, we are building a community of people who use big ideas to build personal wealth, and I want you to be part of this journey. So, ladies and gentlemen, Vision 2030 was not just about a government policy. It was a powerful statement of belief in a better future built on a strategy and discipline, and applying these same ideas to your own life is your way of making that same declaration. Getting wealthy isn't about luck, it's about having a blueprint that is you are going to follow it, and day after day that plan that rebuilds the country's economy that has been right there all along. Now you have it. It's time for you to start building. Invest in yourself. Study the Vision 2030 plan of Kenya. You can even just go to ChatGPT and key in using Vision 2030 plan by the late President Mwai Kibaki. Help me generate my personal Vision 2030 to transform my life financially, socially, and politically, or in whichever way you wanna transform your life. Until at that point, have yourself a lovely day.